This is the calm before the storm for Bitcoin. The Bollinger Bands are squeezing together at some of the tightest levels we've ever seen while trading in this consolidation range. And on the other hand, the Bitcoin volatility is extremely low here. So it seems like Bitcoin is gearing up for yet another massive expansion phase to the upside. And that's exactly what we will discuss within today's update video. We will discuss a lot more than only that. Take a look into the most important patterns for Bitcoin here, the latest news hitting the market, and we will also take a deep dive in towards Ethereum and altcoins. So from there guys, make sure to first of all subscribe to the channel and watch and like my latest YouTube videos, and then we can dive in towards the most important content. Since this is the calm before the storm, with those Bollinger Bands squeezing together, which is normally an indication of very low Bitcoin volatility. Actually, the Bitcoin volatility is at the lowest level since 2023 here, where we also saw consolidation and then this massive squeeze towards the upside. And I'm not saying it will be a similar move like here, but normally once Bitcoin sees such low volatility, a big expansion phase tends to follow quite soon afterwards. So I'm getting quite excited here. I do think this range is going to be breaking to the top side, because if you take a look into the most important Bitcoin patterns currently, we can draw it in basically two ways. We have or this major symmetrical triangle here compressing the Bitcoin price action for a big move to the top side, or this major Bitcoin bull flag here. So actually I do think it's looking quite good here for Bitcoin. And yesterday we did have quite a volatile day, because the White House officially released the Bitcoin and crypto report yesterday, and also we saw that new Fed rate decision. Just like expected, the Fed did not change the rates, and the White House crypto report was actually not that interesting, because a lot of people were hoping for a strategic Bitcoin reserve or just a way of accumulation for crypto, but that wasn't stated in the Bitcoin and crypto report from the White House here. They did say that that will come in the future, but it wasn't reported in that report. So basically it were two nothing burgers here. And guys, if you do want to be trading Bitcoin and altcoins yourself, make sure you do it on Bitunix, because this is going to be the most beginner friendly platform to start trading, because here you can claim over $400 just by signing up on the platform. So make sure to check it out if you do want to be claiming some free money over here and start trading Bitcoin and altcoins yourself. And from there we can discuss some important ETF flows. Since the ETF flows were quite disappointing yesterday, we saw a small inflow for Bitcoin with almost $50 million, and we saw a very small inflow for Ethereum, and that's not what you want to see. We do want to see this massive institutional accumulation continue. If that isn't going to be the case, once we start seeing negative flows, I do think the Ethereum price action could get quite a hit here, but that's currently not happening yet. So let's hope this institutional inflow will be continuing in the future here, because I do think that's going to be very important for Ethereum, and also very important if we compare Ethereum versus Bitcoin, because you do want to see Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin in this stage of the cycle. Currently it's still doing so, and also that Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart on the 3-weekly time frame is showing a major bullish crossover, and that's actually a signal we haven't seen in almost 6 years here. So that's going to be a huge signal. It simply shows that the momentum is shifting in favor of Ethereum here, so that's looking quite bullish. But yeah, let's see how that's going to continue here. If we do want to discuss some important Ethereum price targets, then you guys do know by now that I have my conservative case set at that range high level for Ethereum at that $4,000 target. Actually, the true range high is about $41,000, but I have set my conservative case at 4K basically. That will be the moment where I will be taking most of my profits, and I have been saying this on this way down, this way up. I have been saying this for quite a long time here over the last few months. So I won't differ my stance in the market, but I do think there's actually a high likelihood that Ethereum could be moving much higher. But if you look at the risk reward, for me it doesn't make a lot of sense to, for example, hold my Ethereum off this conservative case towards that bull case of $6,000 because I did already made over a 2x on most of my Ethereum spot positions here, and I can only make like 1.5x towards that bull case, not even. So for me, the risk reward is much better if I'm, for example, going to rotate more into altcoins from this conservative case targets. So that's going to be exactly my game plan there. Ethereum is trading quite strongly above this range currently, and I do think, yes, it's just a matter of time before Ethereum will once again attack that $4,000 target and basically move back in towards this major supply zone for Ethereum, where we have been rejected a lot of times. But I do truly think this time is going to be different than, for example, all these major rejections in the supply zone, because the funding rates, guys, are still extremely low here. Definitely not something like we've seen before during those big moves higher towards that range high target and then the rejection. The funding rates are still very low here. So I don't think Ethereum is overheated yet, and it's definitely not necessary to see Ethereum making a new move to the downside. I do think there's actually quite a big likelihood that Ethereum could once again be attacking that $4,000 target quite soon here. So we have this quite interesting Bitcoin dominance chart playing out here, where we can simply see the comparison with 2021, where we also saw somewhat of a double top being created here, then a move down, then consolidation, and then that big move lower. And of course, in that big move lower, that's the moment where the altcoins will start going parabolic. And it seems like history is exactly repeating here, with also now this consolidation phase for the Bitcoin dominance. And it's exactly lining up with what I've been saying in all my latest YouTube videos. Basically, what's currently happening with the Bitcoin dominance, Ethereum versus Bitcoin, it isn't just one big move lower or one big move higher for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, for example. It always comes in consolidation phases, in shakeouts, breakout patterns, pullbacks. So we have to keep that in mind. It could be that we are going to see more consolidation from here, but on the long term, I still believe in altcoin season, and I have been doing so for over the last few months. But it's going to be important that, yes, it is not an altcoin season. There are still a lot of gains to be made to the top side here, and we have to be aware of exactly that. And guys, that was it for today's update video. A little bit of a shorter update video, but yeah, to be fair, not much has been happening because yesterday was basically quite a disappointing day. So yeah, I will see you guys within the next update video tomorrow.